Well, we are super excited to be joined by one of the last 4 coaches left that are dancing right now. Auburn head basketball coach, Bruce Pearl. Coach Pearl,
let's go. We're not worthy.
Let's go.
We're not worthy.
What's up, guys? How's everybody?
Doing great, man. I'm surprised you still got a voice at this point. I mean, Blaine went to the games in Atlanta, and he could barely talk yesterday. So we appreciate you making some time for us.
Man, it's been a whirlwind. I can't believe we're still on the road to the Final Four. I can't imagine if we were, traveling back from someplace other than close. I mean, we're just down the road in Atlanta, and yet, everybody's pretty popped today after, a really long but wonderful and incredible weekend in Atlanta.
Well, Coach, I kind of want to start, where it all started when Auburn brought you in, and in 2014. And look, we're both from Lee County, grew up, born and raised in Auburn, Alabama. I was a ball boy back when there was the Cliff Dwellers, and Chris Porter was dunking, and Auburn was #1 in the country. Then we went through a lull.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. I remember that.
Right there, yeah.
And then we went through a lull, and you know this better than anybody, where Auburn basketball really fell off. And, when you took the job, obviously you're confident in what you do. You knew you're really good at what you do. And I know you thought you were going to win. But 2 Final Fours in a span of 6 years at Auburn, did you ever think it would culminate in this, or you could take Auburn from where they were to being one of the top programs in college basketball year in and year out?
Yep. Well, first of all, Jake, I didn't take Auburn anywhere. And I know it's going to sound like a corny, pat answer, but I've got an incredible staff. I got a really good staff. Yes, I put the staff together, but it's very much their doing. Ira Bowman or Corey Williams or Stephen Pearl involved in recruiting. Stephen with defensive game plans. Mike Burgermeister with offensive game plans. Maddox in operations, and Ian running camps and doing. I mean, it's a Marquise Daniels team developed. It's a whole team. Second thing is, you guys know all the players that we've had. You know the dudes that we've had. You know the sacrifices they've made. And, people wonder why grown men cry on television when the season's over. It has nothing to do with losing. It really doesn't. It has everything to do with, I've been with this kid for 5 years, almost every day. And tomorrow, I'm not. And that's what is so heartbreaking and earth-shattering. So the day we're done, I'm going to be shifting gears to helping Dylan Cardwell and his agent figure out where he's going to go next and what tryouts, and we'll be doing that with all of our players. But it's not like getting on a bus. It's not like having a meal. It's not like having a Bible study. And so, no, man, it's been great. Beyond my expectation, no question. I thought we could come here and be competitive. I had no thoughts that we were going to go to the Final Four, let alone twice.
Well, Coach, it's been amazing. I do want to ask you, too, during this season, obviously you guys dominated for so long, which is so hard to do in the game of basketball with the non-conference schedule you played. And then obviously the SEC being what I think is the best conference that we've ever seen from top to bottom in college basketball. And then you clinch the conference regular season title at Kentucky in Rupp Arena, a place where Auburn hasn't won since like Alexander the Great was riding on the back of elephants. And all of a sudden you drop a couple in a row to really good teams, and people start panicking and thinking the sky is falling. Can you just talk about how you guys handled that and were able to, your culture, your identity, to be able to say, look, at the end of the day, we're going to keep moving forward. And now you find yourself with all the expectations, with all the pundits saying, oh, Auburn they peaked too early. Well, you're in the Final Four, and it turns out they were wrong.
Well, yes, almost all of that. We definitely clinched the league at Rupp, magical moments. We have won more times in Rupp Arena this month than Auburn has won in Rupp Arena in the history of our program prior to this month, okay?
Yeah.
We won 3 times. Not always against Kentucky, but it's just mind-boggling. We lose at Texas A&M, a 3 seed. We lose at home to Alabama, a 2 seed at the buzzer. We beat Ole Miss, a Sweet 16 team, and then we lose to Tennessee, a 2 seed in the SEC tournament by 5. And so there was no reason to panic, but we weren't playing our best basketball. We weren't. And I really think it took Creighton to get us a little bit of a wake-up call and going, look, if we keep jacking around like this, we're going to get beat. We will not survive in advance. And I thought that my son, Stephen Pearl, stepped up a little bit as it related to calling the team out. Dylan Cardwell took his lead, and we all got a bit of a wake-up call. But fortunately, we didn't get that call at halftime or right before the game. The day before the Creighton game, we decided that we're going to focus. We're going to lock in, and we're not going to beat ourselves. And for 3 games, we've done it. We've done a great job.
Let's talk about Jeremy's Razors with this great clip that features my brother. Let's play it.
Transphobe.
Who's there?
God, the acting skills.
You're such a good actor.
Racist.
Which I'm not.
White silence is violence.
No way.
Is this Razor talking to me?
What can
you see
be
how that got delivered?
unburdened
That
by
was
what has
perfect.
been.
I don't even know what that means. Stand back.
Point.
That Razor's woke.
You're so weird.
Tell him,
Stop
Siakam.
giving your money to woke corporations who hate you. Shave with Jeremy's instead.
Thanks, Black Jeremy.
Anytime.
You nailed
Oscar
that.
performance. I just
You
don't know-
absolutely
I just
nailed
don't
that.
know why I'm not in more movies. Than
Yeah,
commercials.
we need to do more movies.
Like they really look. This is where the money gets made. I'm a natural.
Maybe this is how you become Batman.
Some people say I'm the next Heath Ledger.
So, well, let's hope
Whoa,
it ends a
hold
little
on
bit better. Some razors are made for soy lattes and safe spaces, but Jeremy's razors are made for men with a backbone and a beard to tame. Engineered with 5 stainless steel blades and 0 apologies. No lecture, no pandering, just a razor that works. So find out why 250,000 men switch to the politically incorrect razor for men. Shave boldly, live freely. Visit jeremysrazors.com today.
Coach, congratulations on making it to the final weekend. Thanks to you and that incredible staff you're talking about. I now have to watch the new Snow White movie since you guys beat Michigan, but that's my cross to bear, and I will get through that, okay? I do want to say, all 4 number 1 seeds advanced to the Final Four for the second time in college basketball in this tournament. Do you think that we will see this tournament become more top-heavy given the current state of the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness? Or is this just one of those things where, like, hey, the number 1 seeds are the 1 seeds for a reason, and sometimes they win their region?
Yeah, I don't know that because of NIL transfer portal that this is going to be a trend. You do recognize, whether it be for the national championship in football, David, the teams that invested in NIL were the ones that got down there to the playoffs at the end and played for championships at the end. I don't know that's the case. I can tell you right now, my NIL is somewhere in the middle of the league at the SEC. Now that's still pretty good, but we're in the middle of the league. So we didn't get there just because of our NIL budget. Mm-hmm. And so look, but here's a question. Can you name one team in college basketball that you think right now is better than Duke, Florida, Houston, or Auburn?
I cannot.
And I think that's incredible. And I agree with you. I don't think you can. Now, somebody may have a fan favorite or make an argument with somebody. I don't think because the body of the work of these 4 teams, you have got the 4 best teams playing for the national championship. And what in the world is wrong with that?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's supposed to be? And, so the difference between us going this time and 2019, when we went 19, I think Virginia was a 1. I'm not sure, but they weren't a dominant one. And I think on the other side of the bracket, both Texas Tech and Michigan State, neither one of those were 1s. And so that was a really kind of, let's just say, hey, man, this is kind of a winnable Final Four. Right now, we are going to be playing whoever's playing whoever. Every one of us are good to be the national champion. And so it's going to take an incredible effort.
No doubt. Your answer echoes some sentiments that we were talking about last week, where people and critics can't have it both ways. They can't say, well, we want a tournament filled with Cinderellas, but then we also want the best possible matchups with 1 seeds and 2 seeds and the Elite 8 and the Final Four.
I'd rather have great games.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I want to talk about the culture that you've built at Auburn right now, and it's so hard to do. How have you built an environment where players are growing as people and not only as players?
Well, I mean, I'm old school, okay, and I'm old. You add those 2 things together, and look, we're still going to graduate as student athletes. We've graduated 43 in the last 11 years. Probably going to graduate 3 or 4 more this spring. That takes discipline. It takes accountability. It's important as far as these kids' rest of their lives. I'm not going to use them up. And then bottom line is this coaching, it is a ministry. We can change lives in many, many ways. And that's when a parent gives their child to me. They know they're getting way more than just the basketball. If they want just the basketball, then they should go somewhere else. Yeah. If they want just the NIL, they should go somewhere else. Because we're going to work on them, and spiritually, we're going to require them to become make sacrifices and be unselfish. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to push them. We're going to love them. Coach Dye said, you can coach them as hard as you love them. And so last thing I would say as far as how do you create that culture? Who do you hire? What men do you have around you? It makes a statement to your players about the way you want them to behave. What kind of fathers are they? How are they on the road? Are they running around? Are they doing the wrong things? Well, guess what? Your players pick up on that stuff. I guess it must be okay to coach if that's how they're going to roll. Mm-hmm. That's not how we're going to roll. To the best of our sinful ability, that's just not how we're going to go. We talk the walk. We talk about calling God. We bang a three and we call the Lord. Well, great. And I got parents emailing me and calling me, going, Coach, my daughter banged the three the other day and she called the Lord. It was great. But you know what? If we're going to do that, well, then you got a responsibility to try to live it too. Yeah. And that helps me call them on the carpet.
Well, not only that, Texas Tech was doing it after hitting threes against Florida. And Coach, I don't know if you saw that. The Williams kid
awesome.
was doing it. Yeah. I know you're a busy man. I got one more for you. Florida, you played them earlier in the year. Obviously, it was at home, and it really kind of started that heater that Florida got on. What do you have to do differently this time against a protege of yours, Todd Golden? It's basically a plot out of a Star Wars movie. But what do you got to do differently this time, you think, to maybe be on the other side of that coin?
Yeah. Well, I'm not Todd's father. Okay.
The Todd father?
You're not. Hold on.
No.
Todd's father.
And I didn't give birth to Princess Leia also, although I do have a daughter named Leia. So actually, This is coming together to your point.
There it is. Accidental.
I got out coached. He did a great job preparing his team. They hit us in the mouth. The front line played better than our front line. I don't want to say they dominated, but they did. And Clayton was the best guard on the floor that night. Now, will Miles Kelly and Denver Jones and Todd Pettifor and Chad Baker-Mazara have something to say about that? Well, they will. What are we going to do with that opportunity? Martin didn't even play in the game. And yet, Martin is playing really well. Will Richards, a handful. I've been saying this for 2 months now. Florida, to me, has been playing the best basketball for anybody in the country. You look at what Houston did in the Tennessee game and how they just locked down such a great team. Obviously, they're terrific, and Duke might be better than all of us. So it's we'll have to play better than we did last time in order to be able to beat the Florida Gators.
Well, it's going to be a fight.
Can't wait.
We appreciate you joining us. Like I said, I know you're super busy. Congratulations again, and from at least two boys from the 3-3-4. Thanks for doing it. It's a lot more fun to watch when you're playing like that, Coach.
You got a couple 3-3-4s, and you got a three? Is that a 3-1-3 over there, David? What is that?
9-1-2. I was from South Georgia and went all the way to Michigan.
Yeah, South Georgia boy.
State where Georgia Southern is.
Auburn missed on you.
Thank you, Coach.
They did.
They
did. And so did Georgia when they took
I tell
Matt Stafford.
Coach/Senator Tupperville that every time I talk to him.
All right, Coach Pearl. Thanks, brother. We really appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Hey, YouTube. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on so you know when Crain & Company goes to college or Locker Room Talk is dropping.